the sun begins to rise and another day ahead, and you don't feel quite that motivated, that motivation to get up and go. Does that sound like you? How often do you feel like that? You ask yourself, why is it that I just can't get motivated? I so do not feel like getting out of bed. I've been there, and I'm still there on many occasions. That motivation is a big mystery. So, welcome to my video about motivation, and I'd love to share just 3 simple steps or tools just to get you started to think about how you can get motivated if you're just feeling that lack of motivation. But before I get into that, what I'd like you to do is just take a few minutes, okay? So I'm going to ask you to press pause in a minute on the video and take time to jot down 3 to 5 things in priority order, okay, that naturally come out that makes you feel motivated. So writing 3 or 5 things that really motivate you, and next to it to also write the reasons why they motivate you. And so take a few minutes or as long as you need, and then come back to the video. So what is motivation? That is the question. How can you feel motivated when you wake up? Because on many occasions, it's that moment when we open our eyes, we haven't had a good night's sleep, or something the night before has happened. There's various aspects of our life that play a part in our motivation. Well, we all have it, and that's okay. And we all know when we don't have it. So motivation can be a bit of a roller coaster ride. Do you often find yourself just going round on a multiple loop-to-loop, going round and round and round in circles, looping back and forth? Some ask, should I be motivated all the time? Some people say yes, others say, well, no. The truth is, you don't have to be motivated all the time. And, you know, if people are saying to you, you need to be motivated, you need to be motivated, and if you're not, then they think there's something wrong with you. So, thinking about today's society, we're often told explicitly and implicitly that without motivation, nothing's ever going to happen. You're not going to get anything done without the motivation. You have no purpose, and are often looked at always being miserable. So, if you hear, get yourself together, get over it, what's wrong with you, it's not the end of the world, these comments just don't help your motivation. However, there is a slight truth in them, but we don't want to be hearing them. We need to be able to hear and feel those words for ourselves. It is for you the need to realize and make that change, and that's when the magic really happens. So no wonder this mysterious motivation stuff is so sought from far. So nevertheless, despite a constant quest for the holy grail of motivation, I don't think and feel that it is something that we will ever find. So, have I confused you now? Possibly. Well, hopefully everything will come clear. In fact, motivation is a state that naturally arises when our desires for something or to do something overrides the desire to stay still. Making much better sense? Right, so when that happens, we find ourselves moving completely forward in this effortless flow. It's a natural flow of action that happens, often associated with ourselves moving forward, with this feeling of excitement, expectation and pleasure. So motivation is simply you moving forward. So the question you ask me is, how can I unlock my motivation? Well, here it is, 3 simple solutions to get you started. So if you'd like to take notes, please take notes, or you can always re-record this, or you will find my written blog on my website, vdmlifecoaching.com. Anyway, let's get started. So number 1, motivation. Respect your interior. So when you are not motivated, don't jump to the immediate conclusion that you should be. Take the time to tune in to why you're not motivated. It could simply just be that your energy levels are low, that you need a bit of rest before you charge off in the direction of your latest goal. It could just be something as simply as that. So just take that moment to have a think. Let me ask you, would you put it in a scenario? Would you set out on a long, tenuous, fast journey in your car with no oil or little fuel and a rusty engine? No, of course not. You'd have your engine checked, tuned and oiled, and the tank filled to avoid any AA services appearing or having to call them. So what that means is to grant yourself the same respect, okay? And take the time to rest and recuperate if and when needed. Remember, motivation is a state. So if you are actively demotivated, then it is if you feel yourself actually resisting to move forward towards something again and again, then you need to ask yourself, why am I not motivated? Reflect and time out. Become still and look inside you. Do you really want the thing that you're trying to become motivated about? Or do you just want it? There is a huge difference between the two. You won't be able to properly awaken your desire until you know which position you're coming from, okay? So also make sure that it is you that is doing the wanting, not the other way around, okay? No one else can be motivated on your behalf. Okay, the other thing is, are you going after your own goal? So motivation has a lot to do with that. Or a goal that someone else has set for you. I mean, if someone set a goal for you and you're motivated by it, then that's fine. But are you really motivated? If not, how are you going to get motivated with it? That, you might not be so thrilled about. So whatever the motivation might be, that is for your goal, you need to want it, and it has to light you up. Okay, that light moment, that feeling of magic. If not, then what is the point of doing it? Earlier on, I asked you to make some notes about the things that motivate you and why. Use those strengths of the things that motivate you, because they can trigger off that light within you. Great. So number 2, you need to arouse your desire. Now, I love that word desire because it really resonates with me deep inside. Motivation happens when you are lit up by a goal or an intention. It just fills you with that energy. Motivation appears when your desire is stronger than any barrier or obstacle that it's going to face. It may not always seem that way, but remember, it is perfectly normal that when we can be motivated, we can also be terrified at the same time. Moving forward is a state of fear. For example, during exams, attending an interview, changing careers, all of these have a state of fear, but however, can be a great motivation because you're wanting it. Okay, so that is what's going to light you up. And yes, of course, you can be motivated to move away from something as well as towards something. Nevertheless, the fact that you are able to move at all is an indication that something in you is stronger than any force, internal or external, that's trying to keep you still. To fully realize your motivation, you have to do one of the two things. Either overcome your resistance or awaken the desire. So overcome resistance, awaken desire. Simple. So overcoming resistance is about checking out whether you are not having any limiting beliefs, or have you got any limiting beliefs that you need to tackle with first, or perhaps some very practical external obstacles you might need to deal with. Okay, so that's looking at overcoming any resistance. The other is to awaken your desire. So you need to focus on what you stand to gain from moving forward. So the end result. By all means, focus on the ultimate goal, but you must focus on the small steps too. That is really crucial, and that will give you the end result and much more accomplishment and satisfaction and that motivation. In fact, it's best to find the smallest units of achievement you can possibly have or do, and focus on building your desire for that. So next time that you have a big task that you need to tackle, such as a dissertation to write or prepare a PowerPoint presentation, any sort of goal that is a big task to tackle, don't sit staring blankly at a pile of paper. Just pick up one sheet and look forward with all your heart to the feeling you'll have when you've written it. So you've written one sentence, and maybe that's enough, but look at it and say, I've done it. I love it. Love it for its own sake, and write it, because you have to start somewhere. Then write the next for the same reason, and the next, and so on. Before long, you will have had the first of many pages written down, and you will be on your way, and there'll be no stopping you. The satisfaction of smaller steps is far more greater, as I see it as an emerging and connecting deeper with special moments of motivation to reach your end goal. How's that sounding so far? Great, I hope. So finally, for step 3 is your goal. Sorry, your goal. It's your go for it. Excuse me. So I'm not a massive fan of positive thinking slogans like Nike, just do it. Because I find myself thinking, if it was that easy, then we would. The fact we're not doing it means something is stopping us. But in this sense, it is useful to remind ourselves that motivation is a state of action. Without taking action, we can't find the smallest unit of gain. So getting started, no matter how small the steps are, you're going to go for it. This will put us in touch with what it is that we're attracted to, getting us started in the first place, giving us the opportunity to build that strength of connection. It will also get us out into the world where we are more likely to bump into other people, gather new ideas and fresh opportunities. There are a few more things motivating than that. So rest if you need, okay? Refocus, step back and look at it from a different perspective, and remind yourself of why you wanted to move forward in the first place. Then get to it. The moment you make and say it, then do it. Don't wait, take action. Because again, that's procrastination, and then that motivation won't happen. So the moment you've said it, you want it, go for it. By taking even the smallest step, and I keep saying the smallest step is important, towards a dream will awaken and feed your desire. As if by magic, motivation will appear and will be moving forward once again. So not because we went looking for it, but because we got out of our own way and we let the motivation appear just naturally, in a natural flow, in perfect timing. Motivation, I believe, is truly in the doing. So before I go, I would like to leave you with this thought. So when you are no longer motivated and you are no longer happy with your life, and therefore you are unlikely to achieve the goals you want in your personal life or professional life. So look into that future, hold it up in front of you and tell yourself, what would your life look like if you didn't take action and become motivated to do so? If you just stayed where you are, what amazing things would happen? Would it happen if you just stayed where you are and didn't take that step? So don't beat yourself up about motivation. Start to recognize it, start to make the changes, and go back to your list of the 3 or 5 things that motivate you, that would help you. Or think about, what is it that you want? And that is the end result that you want to motivate you. So if you've enjoyed listening to this video about motivation and would really like to explore this in deeper depth with me, please do visit my website, vdmlifecoaching.com. Send me a message and let's arrange a consultation, a free consultation, and see where this journey takes you. I look forward to hearing from you through email, or if not, do comment on the comments below. Love to hear your responses, the ideas of things that motivate you in life, and how this has helped you. Or you can even message me privately on my Facebook. Have a wonderful day, and I'm really excited to hear where this journey is going to take you. Take care.